So urban gardens makes the most of small spaces with more and more housing developments happening in city centres. These gardens are perfect for persons who still want to plant despite their limited space. Very innovative way to do it. Joining us now to discuss this very interesting growing trend, Dr. Negotiate Powell. Good morning to you, sir. Thank you for joining us.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning to you. Good to have you with us this morning. You're a medical doctor
Yes, I am.
and a green thumber.
Based on genetics.
Yes, so that's what I want to. That's where I want to start. Actually, talk to me a little bit about your love for plants, your love for flowers, your love for growing things. Tell me about that.
All right, so my all four of my grandparents are actually farmers, and that passed down to my parents. So growing up, mom would always have her home garden, and she would always be doing some sort of planting of flowers, and then eventually more fruits and vegetables. So we're one of the very few homes in Portmore that had fruit trees all the way around, and we had access to all kind of fruit trees. And many a times it was the access to fruit trees and vegetables that provided a source of meals for us.
Right. So you folks were growing what you eat and eating what you grow long before it became a good slogan for agriculture and for us to support ourselves via this medium. It was a family thing in your house.
Essentially, but eating what you grow and growing what you eat, actually it's not new. It's something that's been around for quite some time, even from in World War One, World War Two, when a lot of the farmers, the persons that would have made up the agriculture industry, were shipped off to war. Countries recommended that people in communities and cities started to eat what they grew and grew what they eat. And in fact, in World War Two, in some countries, more than 40% of fresh fruit and vegetables that were used by the citizens of the country actually came from urban farms and urban gardens. When the war ended and agriculture picked up, those gardens more or less started to diminish. But in some countries, what we have now are the development of allotment gardens or agriculture parks where persons that live in and around a city, they can go and rent or lease or they're assigned a plot of land with, which may come with the necessary amenities to do farming, and they can do farming for self-sustenance or even to sell back to local citizens in the community.
But given the Jamaica that we're now living in, where urban development is a thing, right? A lot of those green spaces, a lot of those park spaces, a lot of those areas where people usually grow are becoming less and less, fewer and fewer. I wouldn't say extinct, but they're very hard to find, especially new developments. So you have said, you know, you don't need a big space to do this. You can do it in a pretty simple, innovative way, and we have that on the table right beside us. See some boxes there on screen. But tell me what you've crafted as a solution, Doc.
Okay, so one day a group of friends we were watching the news together. This was when outside was keeping, before Corona.
Seems so
And
long ago.
yeah, it's so long, it feels like years ago. And we started to have concerns about, do we really know what's in our food? Do we really know what we're getting? And the best way to know what you're getting is to grow it yourself. And then we considered persons who are living in apartment complexes who have very limited space at all. And so we decided to bring a piece of Jamaica straight to them, straight to their balcony, straight to their homes. And that's when we envisioned the product of our planter boxes.
I
And
love
what are
this. I'm not big on plants, I must tell you the truth. I kill them very easily without trying. I don't know what it is about my thumb that is so brown. But I look at this and I see how it would, bring life to an apartment building, to a small apartment, something in there that's actually growing and live. The one we're looking at now, is this what they all typically look like, or do you have like variations of this? This is a live plant. And what is it that I'm looking at inside the plant, Doc?
All right, so this is what we call our spice box. So it's a box that's 1 foot by 1 foot. and it currently contains 4 plants. So you're looking on spinach, hot peppers, you're looking on arugula, and you're looking on broadleaf thyme. All right. So this box was planted about a month ago, and
Really?
this is what the plants have done. So you don't typically get the plants from us at this big of a stage where there are already peppers on it, but you get it pretty close. So we start the process for you. We make it very easy, very convenient. So you get a prepared box with soil and plants that are already growing, often a few weeks from harvesting.
So how long ago was this one planted?
About a month ago,
And it was inside
it was on a balcony.
on a balcony. And so ideally, if you live in a complex, you live in a small apartment, you don't have the yard space, we should try to find somewhere outside where you can get sunlight, right? What are the ideal conditions? If you live in a small place and you want to buy one of these and get this going, what are the ideal conditions to make it grow?
All right, so you definitely need about 6 to 8 hours of sunlight every day. That would be like the best condition. And then depending on the prevailing weather conditions, you may be able to water every day or every other day. So if the days are extremely hot, then you water every day. If they are not so hot, then you can get away with watering every other day.
Boy, me like that it producing food for people to eat, but me just think it pretty and just would have look nice in your house. Just, I mean, it would draw a lizard, which is my problem. But how this is the smaller one? You say one by one. What are the other sizes? We're looking on screen at some options.
Right, so we have a larger box, which is 1.5 feet by 3 feet, and that's what we call our veggie box. And that's a box that we tend to put or the vegetable plants in just because they need a little bit more space. So the box that we were seeing on screen before with the plants is actually mixed. It has some herbs and it has some vegetables, and that one's primarily for display.
Okay.
But the vegetable boxes we tend to put in or colorless peppers, and we have hot peppers and sweet peppers. We have spinach, lettuce, cabbage, okra, those sort of vegetables that need a little bit more space, and they tend to start producing crops by about 6 weeks or so.
Okay.
The spice box tends to be more slow growing, so therefore it doesn't use up a lot of space. The plants in the spice box are tend to be more slow growing, so it doesn't use up a lot of space. And we have, for example, cilantro, parsley, rosemary, dill, and we have mint, broadleaf mint, fine leaf mint, and we have
Arrange. So we
leaf
can tell you
thyme.
what we want in the box, and you'll put it in the box.
Once we have it available in the nursery at the time when you order, then it is placed in the box.
Okay.
And when the plants have been transplanted and are ready for delivery, we make the arrangements for that.
I think this is a very cool idea. My colleague, my friend Neverbell wants to know if you take them out of the box at any point. Obviously, the answer
Uh,
would be no, right?
you don't have to if you have more space and you want to transplant to get bigger plants, or if you want to take them out so that we can bring a new plant to you and you can transplant. That's an option.
Okay, and
But it's
can
not, it is you the life of the plant can exist inside that box.
right, which is I think the whole point of it. So you don't have to transplant it and so on. And then finally, how much
And
does this
some
one
people don't have
cost?
the space.
Right.
So this box is um, a raised box, which typically comes as a flat box. But if patients, sorry, not patients, medicine coming in again. If customers want, if customers want a raised box to make it available, especially it's easier, a little bit more ergonomically designed for farming in an urban setting. And so this box typically starts at 12,000.
Okay, got it. So you get the box, you get the mulch and the soil, and you get the 4 different varieties of plants in here, 12 grand. And then you
You
start
also
to
get a startup package with some general instructions on how to get your green thumb started.
gotcha. And look, guys, this thing is actually like there are peppers on this plant. Harold, can you see these? There are actually peppers already growing on the plant. So this is a return on the investment. Once it starts to flower, you want to buy no pepper supermarket, you want to buy no spinach, you want to, so very cool. Good idea, Doc. Where do folks reach you if they're interested in securing any of these? We have to go. If you give us your contact information, I'd appreciate
Right.
that.
So you can message us on Instagram at PlantSmartJA or call 560-3721.
All right.
Somebody will be able to take your call.
Excellent. Thank you very much for sharing with us this morning. And now off you go to doctoring so you can actually really talk to your patients for true.
Thank you very much.
Dr. Negotiating Powell, co-owner of Plant Smart JA. We're going to speak with two young artists who've ended their musical feud. Thank God for that. We'll be right back with more on Smile.